it's crazy because for the longest time, I pushed away actually helping people write books. Why? Because I was under this impression that because it was so hard for me, because I wrote for 7 years and it was literally like a suicide mission. So I was under the impression that because it was so hard for me, that I don't want to go down the same journey again. It was excruciating. It was an insanity camp. And I can't believe I didn't commit suicide in the process. But then my higher self, my inner being, was like, Dasha, what is the one thing that you did that caused the biggest shift and biggest transformation in your life? And yes, I know I did a lot of things: psychedelics, living in an RV, letting go of all my possessions, moving to a new country, just meditation, retreats. But what is the one thing that I spent the most hours, that I would consider myself to be an absolute and total expert in? And I kept going back to writing, because for 7 years, right, I spent so much time going back, getting more clarity, so many downloads, how everything started to connect through the writing process. So I am an expert, among other things, but the most expert in writing books. So I surrendered. I had a friend who came to me and was like, can you help me write my book? And I was like, I don't know, because I've only written for myself. But she was like, apparently you can write books because look, you did it for yourself. And I was like, okay. And I just surrendered. And what happened was we both go on Zoom, and then suddenly I'm like tuned in, right? I'm like tuned in, and I start channeling, just like we get into a meditative state. And all of a sudden, I stop, I ask her a question, she starts channeling back, and it's like, whoa. And we're both sitting there, and I'm like crying, and I'm like feeling this ecstatic feeling in my body, and I'm like, whoa. And I'm so inspired by her story, and I know exactly what to ask next. My inner being does. And by the end, she was like, okay, I'm done with my train of thought. And I was like, wow. Wow. Some people ask me, how did you choose this? And I just say, I didn't choose it. I surrendered to the one thing that I felt most uncomfortable doing. And Spirit showed me another way with easiness to help other people, to be of service with the one thing that I mastered. Okay, so I didn't choose it. It chose me, and I just surrendered. I didn't want to do it because I was living from the past, because I was thinking that the only way I could help somebody was the same way that I've gone through 7 years of every single day writing, an insanity 15-hour days writing. So I thought that that was the only way, because that was my experience of life. But come to find out, it wasn't. So I was pushing away something, right, based on my own past experience, not allowing myself to surrender to the easiness, to the beauty that's on the other side, because I was living from the past. And once I surrendered, I started realizing that this is a highly sought after thing. And then I started leveling up vibrationally. Okay, how much do I feel like this is worth? And I read about a bunch of books, and did a bunch of courses, and vibrationally shifted into this high ticket offer, that I truly believe that the value was there, and this is the result. It's a great exchange. And what I know now about books, because I recently had a conversation with a client, and she's going through a pregnancy, and she had a view of life that was based on an experience of a friend, and her friend had a really traumatic childbirth. Okay, and so that's the only view that she had of life, and about and childbirth in general. And then I sent her a book. She read the book, and she calls me, and she's like, wow, my perspective changed. So one book. Somebody's life story, their experience can transform and help somebody remember the mind-body connection, how to trust the intuition, that inner being, that higher intelligence that we all have, how to have a different experience, how to be open to the possibility of having a different experience when it comes to childbirth, for example, an orgasmic experience, as opposed to the horror story that could be running in the back of someone's head. You know? So the best way to counteract a frightening story is with an inspiring story. And I'm like, every day, I'm like, is there anything more important in this life than sharing your authentic truth and your story? And I'm starting to believe that there isn't. And it's crazy because, you know, stuff can come and go, physical, material stuff. But when you have a message, when you have a book that's omnipresent, that's going to live past your lifetime, knock on wood, we have no idea how long we have. You've created an impact. It's going to be omnipresent. It's going to change lives across boundary lines. You have no idea where it's going to reach. And the cool thing is, you have no idea the possibilities and the doors that it's going to open up for you, because you become vulnerable and you share authentically with the right soul family, soul tribe that needs your energy, your vibration, your words, your transformation to heal and remember their authentic truth, and remember their courage, to remember why they came here. And yes, some people say, like, oh, it's been written, it's been done. It's not you. And what the people they need is you, your energy, your words, your story. It's going to open the doors to investments, collaboration. It's going to heal you from the inside out, because you're going to become more authentic than you've ever been before. It's going to open the doors to high ticket clients, bigger impact. I mean, the possibilities, movie making, the possibilities we can't even comprehend with this little beautiful mind of ours, which does not exist in our head. It's everywhere. Of the piece of the puzzle that we play when we authentically share our story is, and how much bigger it is than just us overcoming our shadow self, because we're overcoming it for everybody who's in resonance with our energy, our frequency, our vibration, our soul family, our soul tribe that are all around the world. So this is why I truly believe writing your book without writing is the most beautiful thing in the world. That your message matters, that your soul family and tribe is waiting for you to show up, be authentic, broadcast your message, your story through your book. You know, speak from stage, bring that book as a business card everywhere you go. I love you all so much.